Hey kids, welcome back to Worth the Spin. I'm your host, Jack. Alright, let's try this. I've done a couple videos the past couple days. It didn't come out very well. Had a procedure done. It's been a little rough here the past week. And they didn't come out very good. A lot of medication stuff going on here. So let's try again. We're going to do another one. Alright, as I got the time, might as well catch up on some videos. And that way I can get them on a thing called a schedule. I looked it up on Google. It's where you do things in a certain order when you say you're going to do them. Sounds interesting. We're going to try that. Alright, so welcome back to What's in Jack's Record Collection, Beatles Edition. That's kind of what we're calling it. That's kind of what we're doing it. Alrighty, so we're just kind of going through what records I have in my Beatles collection. I don't think you're going to find anything super exciting or stimulating or like, wow, it's incredible or anything like that. But, you know, they're mine, and I love them, and I picked them up. And that's the way it goes. So this is what we got. It's something to do. All right, so we're moving on. And if I'm right from what I watched of my past video that was good, I believe we are up to Beatles for Sale. This was released December 4th, 1964. This is one of my two least favorite Beatles albums. All Beatles albums are my favorites. This one is one of the least. This is kind of, I think, one of the maybe sort of controversial ones with some Beatles fans. It was straight out of the box, the #1 hit. Big surprise. A lot of fans like it. A lot of fans don't like it. I think it's one of those. It's kind of, you know, it's at a point to where the Beatles were finally just kind of worn down here at the end of the year. And the pressure was to get another album out for Christmas release, and this is what they did. And as usual, they did an excellent job. I'm just not as crazy about some of the song selections on here. This is kind of more of a heavier kind of down, kind of a heavier album for the Beatles for me. Everything's been to this point has been kind of light and fluffy, and you know, we're just rocking along, and we hit this, and it's like, man, I just want to go home. Kind of feeling from the guys, you know. They put 110% into it as usual, but it's just my more favorite stuff, I guess. It's not quite kind of on here. Alright, so again, this was released December 4th of 64. This is my mono first edition. I got this at Rockabye. It's on laminate sleeve, of course, the flip backs. It's sold in UK's on the label. No UK tax on this one. It's one of those weird little error things. There's, you know, Beatles records are a minefield. There's always some little error or some goofy thing to make it different from the next one or whatever. But this is missing a period, or this has no period after the NCB listing on here for what you're doing, which doesn't really matter. None at all when you think of the music. It doesn't matter whatsoever. But it makes it kind of a variant because that period's missing, and all the rest of the NCBs have periods after them. So, it's, yeah, whatever. It's your side A, your side B, or 2, depends. This record's in really good condition. It does not have very much in the way of surface scratching on it. It doesn't have a lot of wear there around the spindle hole. And, yeah, it's great condition, plays excellent. Like I said, again, these old Polyphone albums, they take it, man. They were made to last, and they certainly have over the years. They take a beating and they last. And it sounds excellent. I love it to death. It's just some of these songs on here are not. I said, you know, you got your great stuff that was, you know, you're singing 8 days a week, you know. Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby, probably my favorite song on here. Not a Beatles composition, I know, but I really love that one. But there's like, you know, No Reply, I'm a Loser, Babies in Black. I'm not crazy about rock and roll music. I'll Follow the Sun, Mr. Moonlight. It's all just kind of, it's just not favorites for me. Some of these songs are kind of heavy downers type songs, and it's just not the, I don't know. You know, Words of Love. Not a real big fan of that. There's just some. I don't want to spoil the party. It's just kind of. I don't know. We're tired. Here's some songs, kind of. I don't know. I know I'm not really kind of describing or phrasing it correctly, but that's kind of how I feel about it. That'll be your inside cover there, by the way, for you who may not be familiar with this release. And I don't know if the reissues here in America are the gatefold on this because I don't own any of those because they don't have these, so I don't buy those. But so there you go. That's Beatles for sale. It's a great album. It is. All Beatles albums are great. I'm a fan. I love everything they do. Just some more than others. That's all. And it's just not one of my more favorites. And I'm going to kind of change how I'm doing this. I think there's a better way of doing it. I'm not going to jump around and do different versions of the same album. Like, you get to the Japanese section I have, I'll just show you the Japanese one of it. I think it's easier. I'm making it kind of hard. All right, now we move up to where the world changes for the Beatles. Rubber Soul, December 3rd, 1965. And this is a mono second pressing here. I do have a mono first pressing known as the Loud Cut coming. And it's taking its sweet time getting here. And it looks like the deal I made with the guy wasn't quite a deal because I got a tariff notice, and yeah, he did not do some things he said he would do, so now this album probably costed me more than what it was going to cost, so I'm not happy about that. But I'll finally have a first pressing of the heavy cut, and I'm trying to fill some of my holes in my collection where I can. And the Loud Cut of this is the first press that I need, that I would like to have, because I would like to have all first presses in my collection. And just kind of the way I am. So waiting on that to show up. It's been a couple of weeks. It says it's in Chicago, so it's not too far from me, whatever it's doing up there. And but I did get a notice of being charged a tariff, so I'm kind of tired of this tariff thing, because the people that's hurting is us, the consumers, on both sides of the pond here. It's not hurting whoever it is. It's these clowns, and I don't want to get political or trying to prove a point here or whatever, but it's just hurting us. These are used records. These are not brand new things that are made that somebody's making, you know. These are used things out of collection, so I don't understand this whole thing, but we'll move on from that. So again, this is Rubber Soul. This is my second press model. And so there's nothing special about this. It's just a second pressing. And this one is pretty good. It's got quite a bit, and most of these do have quite a bit of surface scuffs on them. That's basically, you know, you take them off, you set them down on something, and you pick them back up. And we all do it. When I was a kid, I did the same thing. That's just how you handle your records. There was no thought like there is nowadays of you take them out gently and put them in these high-dollar sleeves instead of the ones they come in. And you put the condoms over the album covers to keep them from getting messed up more and all that. It was you bought it, you listened to it, you didn't care so much about how, you know, not that you didn't take care of them, just toss them around the room, but normal wear and tear, sitting them on top, stacking them on top of one another, and they fall over, or put them on, you know, whatever, put them on the spindles on old stereos where you put 4, 5, 6 records, they would drop, and one would spin and one's not, so then it would automatically take off and just scuff one side up because it dropped on a turning. You know, but these play great still. And I mean, if you're one of those that can afford to go out, and I know there's people that will only buy them if they're like 100% mint or close, that's great. But you look at those prices, man, you're looking at $240, $300, $400 for an album. That's crazy. And these sound just as perfectly well. And I got this from the shop, and I think this is probably offhand $65 American dollars, which was pretty expensive to me for an album, but it was well worth it. But I certainly wouldn't pay $400 to get a complete, totally mint one, because that's just crazy, guys. It's just crazy. This sounds just as good as a mint one, I'm telling you. Very little static on here, and there's no skips, no jumps. It doesn't stick. It just plays great. So, you know, but each their own. You spend your money on what you want. I'm kind of more of an affordable collector. I try to collect what I can afford, and I can't really afford much of what I do collect, I'm not going to lie. But I try to do it for reasonable means. This is my side 1 of this. This is side 2, just in case anybody's not that familiar with labels and stuff. That's that. And sounds great. I love this album to death. It's been played a lot by somebody who owned it, and played a lot by me for sure. Back cover is a little rough. You can see the age there, and I have cleaned it a little bit, but it's still a little rough. The fronts of these are great for cleaning. I got some very gentle soluble stuff, gentle green I think it's called, very earth friendly, and we'll clean these laminated sleeves up just great. Back sides where they're not laminated, you do have to be careful. But so that's my next in my Beatles collection, my UKs. Of course, we're going through the UKs first. And I'm waiting on my loud cut. I look forward to hearing it. I've never heard it, so I'm looking forward to hearing it. I hear from some people it's too loud, it's very annoying, and other people say it's no big deal, you're kind of wasting your time. But we'll find out and see here hopefully for the next week or so. All right, next up, Revolver. This is my mono first print from August 5th of 66. This has a small mono at the top, no KT text code on it. This has the remixed Tomorrow Never Knows on here, not the heavy cut one. That is on my list of ones that I want to get. I do want to get this first pressing that has that, but it's very expensive. Even kind of rough ones are a couple $100 to $300 for it, just because of the one song. So it might be a while before I own that one. That's definitely kind of out of my price range, but to kind of get what I want in my Beatles collection, I can say I'm happy with all these variants and weird odd things and stuff. I guess that I have would be that, and a German Magical Mystery Tour. All right, so this one has the original, has the inner sleeve, and it's a special one because it came with 2 inner sleeves, and one is slightly different than the other, and I've always been kind of too lazy to research which one belongs in here. And I don't think I'm have any missing from my other albums, so I've just left both of them in here. And one day I will get the appropriate inner sleeve with it and get it inner sleeve. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know why it came with 2 inner sleeves. It's something I didn't notice until I got home. And they were in there. Front cover looks really good. Laminated in America. These are hard to get decent because over here they're just cheap cardboard, and every one you find is heavily either torn, marked up. The black back here is almost white, so faded off. It's just crazy. Ours are so cheaply made that yeah, it's hard to find a decent Revolver here in America that is not totally destroyed on the back. Love this album, love everything on it. Again, Beatles just propelled into yet another level with this album. A little surface scratching on it, don't care, plays great. I love it to death, glad to own it. Next up, this is another one of those kind of controversial ones, mainly by the Beatles themselves. They don't acknowledge it as an official album. Fans, a lot of fans I talked to lately or whatever don't seem to really know about it. But just because Beatles don't acknowledge it, it's kind of hid away. It was kind of for mom and dads. They wanted a Christmas album out. The Beatles are like, we don't have anything ready. Don't have time. So Polyphone slapped this together and put it out. And yeah, there's more for the moms and dads, so they know what the kids are listening to. And it's just, yeah, the first Beatles album came out in 62, and then we're at 66. We're at oldies and goodies. That's kind of a career ender type move when they do an album like that here in America. But it is a collection of Beatles oldies, which are not oldies. So it's funny. So this is a stereo copy. That's all they had. I could not get any monos. Nobody really bought a lot of this album, I was told. So the monos were not as permanent. That's the backside. And so the monos were not as prominent over there. It was mostly stereos. I don't think I seen a mono when I was there. And this one has the original, if I can get it, has the original sleeve that came with it, which is just blank with no copyright information whatsoever on it. I was told that's the way that it came. And I've never, over a past year and a half or two that I've owned this, taken the time to look into it that much to care, because it's just an inner sleeve anyway. And though I like to have the original inner sleeves, I'm not going to go crazy trying to track all those down. So there's nothing really special about this other than the fact that we all know that this is a reverse photo. So the wording on Paul's kimono is wrong. When you look at my Japanese version, which I've shown before, it is the correct picture. So that's kind of cool. And this is extremely worn. I say extremely worn. It has a lot of surface scratching on it. It'll be hard for you to see. It'll look good on camera because light makes things look better than they are sometimes. But there's a lot of surface scratching on this thing. But it plays really good. I've listened to it, honestly. I listened to it once. All these songs are pretty much on the singles that I brought home and the albums that I listened to. So I don't really dig this out of my collection and listen to it, because as I listen to the other albums, I'm listening to it as is. So, but that is my stereo. I would like to have a mono, of course, of it, but probably won't happen. All right, now we're up to really changing the world here with Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. All right, this is my mono first pressing from May 26 or so, 1967. There's a lot going on with this one, and I have notes on here because there is a lot going on with this. So this is the sold in UK, has no TK tax code on it. Fully laminated with the flip back at the top. Been looking for the very first one, but I never seem to find one. This has, like most of them, it came out then on the back cover. It's the back cover. With a little help from my friends is a little help from my friends on the sleeve, and the record it is with a little help from my friends. So somebody just got a little lazy there. It has some pretty good scuffing going on, especially in the middle, which really made me nervous, but they slapped it on, and it just played beautifully. I mean, it just sounded excellent. So very little crackling, and it sounded really great, man. And it just proves that these records were built to stay in there for the long haul. And it sounds great. Cover's a little bit rough. This one, we talked about the misprint. This doesn't have the patents pending on the back cover, which was considered an error because they forgot to put that on. This does not have the full colored sleeve with it, but it did come with the cutouts. So that's cool. That's half the battle. So I'm good with that. Sounds great. This one here. This one I actually picked up at a local record store. Oddly popped up a few months ago and picked it up. They said it was a first press stereo, and as soon as I looked at the label, I knew it was not stereo. So I was pretty sure it was not a first press, but that's the story they went with. So we haggled on the price, and I got it for less than that because I just whipped out my phone and looked it up real quick and said it's not stereo. And so it's another mono. It's a mono first print. This one is really nice. It's a little nicer than that one. This has the misprint on the back. Is fixed. The stuff on here. Sorry, I can't think. Under a lot of medication use yet. Flip back at the top. This has the patents pending. That's what I was looking for. This has the patents pending stuff on here that did not have it on. It's on here. That was not on the other one. And the inside looks really nice. Flip back. It's got the flap at the top. And yeah, there was the crazy money they were talking about, but we dealt with it and we knocked that down quite a bit. I forgot that sticker was on there. I take them off, but apparently, whatever reason, I neglected to take that one off. So it's on there. This has the full sleeve in it though, and the cutouts. So that's pretty cool. And again, it has a little help from my friends on the sleeve. And the record itself is with a little help. I'll take that out. We'll take a look at that. And it looks really nice. Looks nicer than the other one. It's got a rough mark you probably can't see. There. It's pretty long right there. And backside's not too bad. This is way better scuffish than the other one. They were pricing it based off of a stereo. And the stereos, of course, are higher than the monos. And when I showed them that this was not a stereo, they knocked it down quite a bit for me. Plus the fact that I do shop at that store quite a bit, and they like me there. So I half-priced this sucker. So it was nice to have. Just because the fact that it's a little different. I mean, it did have the full sleeve in that too, and I wanted the full sleeve. They were hard to find in the ones that they had at Rockabye because they were just something that didn't stick around with the records very long. All right, now last one for this little section, kids, is going to be the Bloody Beatles White Album. That's right. One of my all-time favorite albums. This set a new level of awesomeness for the Beatles. A lot of controversy still to this day on this. Hey, Paul McCartney says, it's the Beatles Bloody White Album. Just, it's a deal with it. And I think it's good. It does have a lot on there. And they've done 2 albums, so what? You would have got, part 1, part 2. or you would have got, it would have been a different name, whatever. It doesn't matter. But coming out as a double album, I think was still a good decision because, I don't know, I love it. It's got a lot of different stuff on there, and that's the thing of it, is the music is varied on here. So I think that's what helps make it even better, is because you have so many different styles of music. And a lot of it is kind of, honestly, at this point in time in the Beatles' career, is kind of solo stuff. But it's freaking awesome. There's great stuff on here. I love everything on here. Even Revolution number 9, you know, I listened to it when I listened to the album. It's not a favorite song. It's that experimental stuff that Johnny Yuggles going on there, but I am not crazy about. But, you know, I listened to the album. It's in the spot where it is, and I listened to it where it is. And I'm not going to lie, if that was like the last thing on the album, I probably would not listen to that song. I would probably lift my needle before that played. But there you have it. Either way, this is a top loader. This is a mono. Second pressing. First pressings were just, oh God, so, as you know, so tough to get. They had them, but they're just expensive. This is your inside. And this is a top loader. And this one has a beautiful number of 79,000, so I'm very happy with that. And it doesn't beat that 50,000 I came across that was first press, but, you know, life goes on. This has the unedited poster in it, which is very cool, very hard to find, and it has the 4 portraits in it. So that unedited poster coming with this was a deal, because the ones in America I can't find unedited posters in. They're very, very hard. I didn't see a lot of British ones with unedited posters either, so I'm happy with this. The records themselves, we didn't look at those. We'll take a little time here and look at those real quick. We know what they look like, but let's take a look. They look really good. You got second record's got a really kind of rough mark at the bottom here on side 3, but other than that, it looks really good. You probably can't see it too well, but it looks very, very nice. I'm very happy with it. Has a spot where some of the labels peeled right there for some reason. And this chick, Iona, wanted to make sure I knew this was her album, so thanks, I appreciate that. And that's kind of cool. Honestly, that puts a history to this album. So you kind of wonder, where's this girl at in her life, you know? Does she still love the Beatles? Does she have a replacement copy for this album? Does she wish that she had kept this version that she had instead of selling it off? It's just things I wonder. And side 1 and 2 look beautiful. There's a small scratch which you can't see on there. Or side 1, side 2. Very little surface scratching, very little. Plays beautiful, sounds great. Different pressing than the American one, of course. But it's great. So this one, nothing super special other than the fact that I have the unedited poster, which is a big plus. And after, there's no question mark after it. Why don't we do it in a road on here, which was replaced later on. So that's not a big deal to me. Alright, White Album sounds excellent. Another one of my British ones, and we're just moving through. Alrighty, so that's what we got for that video for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Next video, we're going to clean up the rest of the UK ones. Like I said, we're doing this a little bit different than I was doing it. Kind of speed through here a little bit because I got some plans for next year, which isn't too far away. I'm hoping to do a little bit more quality style videos. I think I do pretty good because quality style videos. It's not easy to talk about the same records over and over all the time. You can always find things, different ways of looking at it. But you know, like some of these people do YouTube channels, been doing it 10 years on just the Beatles and still find stories and stuff. That's interesting. I just have a lot going on in my life. I don't have time to always look for every tiny aspect to do. It's just kind of fun to do. And it looks like you guys are enjoying it, and that's cool there too. Helps bring some new friends into my life. Or watching myself and enjoying it, hopefully. Alrighty, so that's what we got right there for the next section of this. In our next round, we'll wrap up the rest of my UK albums that I have. Then we'll move on. I think we'll move on to the American ones next. And then we'll look at some of my excess ones that I have sitting around. And we'll take a look at those and see what I got in those. All right. Then we'll go to singles. We'll just kind of wrap up the year, I think, with what I have currently. And, yeah, it's just be fun. So thanks for watching. I hope you watched, liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Give me a like. That would be cool. Maybe subscribe to the channel if you like it enough to listen to me continue here and there rant on and off about the Beatles and whatever. And I will get into, that's one of my plans for next year when I did start this channel, it was to be generalized albums. So as I would do a video, I would do different albums all the time, not just the Beatles. And I think that keeps it fresh. And I need to get back into it. I've done a few that way, and I need to go back into it and do it again. And because I've picked up some new stuff that's not Beatles. And I think it'd be good to talk about that, so you could hear about other albums than just the Beatles and go, hey, wow, I never thought that band was that good, or I would like that album, and now I want to try it. So that's kind of the purpose of this. That's why it's called Worth to Spin. Just pick out an album from my collection, if not just Beatles, but anything. And hey, is this worth to spend? Is it worth you picking up at a shop somewhere or not? And that was kind of the idea of the channel to start with. And I want to try to get back along that lines of doing that and see if that's a little more entertaining for everyone out there. But for now, I appreciate you guys checking me out yet again. Thank you very much. A couple of weeks here, I hope to be back to full commission, whatever that is for me. Like the channel again, give it a like, maybe subscribe. As you go out there today and watch the news again this morning, you have to watch it a little bit. You got to know what's going on. It's just not good. So let's sprinkle a little bit of love out there on everybody. And Christmas is coming. Let's not forget the reason for the season. And let's try to spread a little of that holiday cheer to some of our less friendlier Grinches that are out there, we'll say. And yeah, do one kind deed for somebody today if you can, please. Don't care what it is. Hold a door open, give a man on the corner $1, buy someone a cup of coffee. Say, hey, I don't know how you're doing today, but I hope you have a wonderful day. That could change a person's day entirely. Believe me, it happens. So thanks for joining in and watching Worth to Spin. And thanks for listening to me, Just Jack, your host. And, I'm glad that we're hanging out and you guys are getting something out of this. I appreciate you tuning in all the time. And have a good day. And if I don't do another video before Christmas, have a very Merry Christmas. I will try to. Have a great Christmas. I hope you get something Beatle-y. That will be cool. I don't think there's any Beatle-y things on my list, but because I'm always picking something up. My wife wouldn't have an idea where to start with me. Yeah. I hope something Beatle-y's on your list. If it's not, hey, buy something Beatle-y yourself. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.